Namaste to all students. Kushra Bidya, myself JV and Dr. Kushbu Verma from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science. Today we are going to discuss about PCR, polymerase chain reaction session, and this session is related to recombinant DNA technology course of program BTech FBT 4 First of all, you have to understand that what is PCR. So, PCR is a polymerase chain reaction and it is a technique which is used in molecular biology to amplify a single copy or a few copies of a segment of DNA across several orders of magnitudes, generating thousands to millions of the copies of a particular DNA sequence. And this technique was developed in 1983 by Carey Mullis, and PCR is now a common technique used in clinical and research laboratories for a broad variety of the applications. In 1993, Mullis was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for his work on PCR. This is the history related to the PCR, and now come to the components of the PCR. So we need DNA template for the reaction. So DNA template is a DNA target sequence, and DNA template is the DNA molecule that contain the DNA region is segment to be amplified. The segment we are concerned, which is the target sequence. Next component we need, which is the DNA polymerase. So DNA polymerase is basically required because it is an enzyme which helps to bind new DNTPs into a new generating DNA strand. So this is the basic concept of DNA polymerase rule. So DNA polymerase sequentially adds nucleotides complementary to template strand at 3-OH end of the bound primers and synthesizes new strands of the DNA complementary to the target sequence. The most commonly used DNA polymerase is Taq DNA polymerase. Taq DNA polymerase has been isolated from Thermus aquaticus, a thermophilic bacteria, and this Taq DNA polymerase is very stable at the high temperature. That's why we use this polymerase for the PCR reaction. PFU DNA polymerase also we can use. It has been isolated from Pyrococcus furiosus, and it is also used widely because of its higher fidelity, means accuracy of adding complementary nucleotides. Magnesium ions in the buffer act as a cofactor for DNA polymerase enzyme and hence are required for the reactions. Means along with the DNA polymerase, magnesium ion is also required for the better results. Next component which is required, which is primers. So primers are synthetic DNA strands of about 18 to 25 nucleotides complementary to third dash end of the template strand. DNA polymerase start synthesizing new DNA from the third end of the primer. We use two types of a primer, reverse primers and forward primer. Two primers must be for the PCR, the forward primer and so the forward primer is the complementary to the end of the anti-sense system means 3 to 5 and the reverse primer is complementary to the third dash end of the sense strand means 5 to 3 If we consider the sense strand means 5 to 3 of a gene for priming, then forward primer is the beginning of the gene and the reverse primer is the reverse complement of the third dash end of the gene. You can understand this concept of forward primer and reverse primer more by this diagrammatic representation. Here you can simply see this is anti-sense strand 3 to 5 and this is a sense strand which is 5 to 3 and this is the reverse primer which is going to attach and do the complementary pairing with the third dash end of the sense strand. On the other hand, forward primer comes here and it prepare the complementary pairing with the third dash end of the antisense strand. And this is the how this is the major and near look, where you can simply say this is a sequence T A. This is the G T G C A C and T A A. This is this reason, and this one is the your primer region T T A G A T G C A. This is the primer region of reverse prime. So that's how these primers, forward and reverse primers, start to bind with the template region. And now come to the primer design, that how primer designs can be done. So primers should bind to the template with good specificity and the strength. If primers do not bind to correct template, wrong sequence will get amplified. Optimal primer sequence and appropriate primer concentrations are essential for maximal specificity and the efficiency in the PCR. Complementary nucleotide sequences within a primer and between primers should be avoided. If there are complementary sequences in two primers used, one primer for each DNA strand, the primers will be hybridized with each other, thus forming primer dimers and formation of the primer dimers, and will not available for the binding with the template. If there are complementary sequences within a primer, it will make hairpin loop structures as shown below. So we can understand this problem by this diagram. So here I am showing this diagram. You can simply see this primer with the complementary sequence. Means all these points we have to be remember in our mind, that primers should not be have any kind of a complementary sequence. If they will have complementary sequence, so they can arrange like this, that their complementary regions come face to face and they will make their own pairing, and they will create the hairpin loop structure. So this is the complementary region G T C A, and again here is C A T G A C G C. All these are the complementary reasons. So we should try to avoid these kind of a primers, otherwise they will create their own hairpin loop reason. The primer should preferably end on the guanine and cytosine sequence so that it can attach with sufficient strength with the template. This increases efficiency of the priming due to stronger bonding of the G and C bases. Run of three or more cytosine and guanine at the third dash end of the primer should be avoided. This may promote mispriming. For example, non-specific binding to the G or C rich sequences in the genome other than the target sequence. As adenine and thymine base pairs with a single H bond, so thymine T or adenine A residue should be avoided at third dash end of the primers, as this weaken the primers hold on the template DNA. Now come to the nucleotides, DNTPs or deoxynucleotide triphosphate. These are also major component, important components for the PCR reaction. So all type of the nucleotides are building blocks for new DNA strand and essential for the reaction. It includes adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, or uracil. Means if we are multiplying the DNA molecules, so we need thymine. Next one is the magnesium. So magnesium affects the primer annealing and template denaturation, as well as enzyme activity. An excess of magnesium gives non-specific amplification products, while low magnesium yields lesser amount of the desired product. Now come to the procedure. Uh, there are three major steps in a PCR which are repeated for 30 or 40 cycles. This is done on an automated cycler. Now come to the procedure which has been followed for the PCR reaction. So there are three major steps in a PCR which are repeated for 30 or 40 cycles. This is done on an automated cycler which can heat and cool the tubes with the reaction mixture in a very short time. In the first step, there is a denaturation at 94 degrees centigrade temperature, and during the heating step, which is denaturation, the reaction mixture is heated to 94 degrees temperature for 1 minute, which causes separation of the DNA double stranded. Now, each strand acts as template for synthesis of complementary strand. You can understand this point that how DNA denature. So you can simply see in the first step, this is double standard DNA. When you give 94-degree temperature heat shock kind of a period, so it creates the denaturation and you will get the single stranded DNA. Next step is annealing at the 54-degree temperature. So it can vary according to the melting temperature of the reverse and forward primer. So this step consists of cooling of the reaction mixture after denaturation step to 54 degrees temperature, which causes hybridization of primers to separated strands of DNA. The length and GC content, which is guanine cytosine content of the primer, should be sufficient for a stable binding with the template. Guanine pairs with cytosine with the three hydrogen bonding. Adenine binds with thymine with the two hydrogen bonds. Thus, higher GC content results in stronger binding. In this case, GC content is less, length may be increased to have a stronger binding. More number of hydrogen bonding between primer and template. Here you can simply see that after in the second step, which is the annealing, and temperature can vary according to the melting temperature of the reverse and forward primer. Here we are assuming that annealing temperature is 54. So at the 54-degree temperature, reverse and forward primer will create the complementary pairing with their target regions, and they will bind to this to their complementary regions. Next, third step is extension at 72-degree temperature. So the reaction mixture is heated to 72-degree temperature, which is the ideal working temperature for the tag DNA polymerase. The polymerase adds nucleotides, DNTPs, all four types according to the requirement, and the complementary to the template on third dash OH of the primers, thereby extending the new string. Third step, which is extension, and with the temperature 72-degree temperature, here you can simply see DNA polymerase start to bind DNTPs according to their complementary sequences, and then start to extend the new strand. And at the end of the third step, you will get the complete two DNA strands, new, which is semi-conservative. One strand is old and second one is new, and that's how you will get two DNA strand from previously one DNA strand. Final hold. First three steps are repeated 35 to 40 times to produce millions of the exact copies of the target DNA. Once several cycles are completed during the hold step, 4 to 15-degree temperature is maintained for short-term storage of the amplified DNA sample. PCR as an exponential cycle. As both strands are copied during PCR, there is an exponential increase of the number of copies of the gene. Suppose there is only one copy of the desired gene before the PCR starts. After one cycle of PCR, there will be two copies. After two cycles of the PCR, there will be four copies. After three cycles, there will be eight copies, and so on. You can understand this phenomenon by this flowchart. This is the target sequence of the DNA. You go with the all three sequential steps: heat, cool, and add primers to single-stranded DNA and primers NL2. These are the primers, and then add tag DNA polymerase, all four types, to synthesize the complementary strand, and that's how you will get two strands. Now this complete sequence, three steps, will be repeated by 25 to 75 times. Wanted gene, so that's how you will get um your gene of interest in a proper amount to get identified. So for example, if this is the wanted gene and this is the template DNA, in the first cycle you will get two DNA regions. 2n is means 2 by 2. Second cycle, you will get the 4 cycles, and then 8 copies, and at the end of the 35 cycles you will get the 68 billion copies. Now come to the reaction conditions and experimental protocols. So denaturing conditions are best at 94 to 95 degree temperature for 30 to 60 seconds. Lower temperatures may result in incomplete denaturation of target template and PCR products. Higher temperature and a longer amount of time can lead to enzyme activity loss. If we talk about the general PCR protocol, so prepare following mixture in appropriately sized Eppendorf tube, and Eppendorf tube should be approximately 0.5 ml or 0.2 ml is enough. Ingredients means water, autoclave water, which is having volume of 15 to 16 microliter, Mg iron 2 microliter, DNTPs 2 millimole of each is approximately 1 microliter. Forward primer and reverse primer should be 0.5 microliter. Tag DNA polymerase is equal to zero point 0.2 microliter, and template DNA is approximately zero point 0.1 to 1 microliter. Total final volume should be 20 microliter. It is the highest volume for a reaction mixture of the PCR tube. So PCR machine, basically if we talk about the PCR machine, so it loads the reaction into 2 ml PCR tubes, means 20 microliter. Close the lid and turn knob until it stops. Turn on PCR machine, switch on back, and the menu should point at start. If not, use arrow up and down. Press enter. Use arrow key to select the program you want to run. Press enter. The program will ask you what kind of a tube you are using and reaction volume. Select the tube with the select button and enter the volume on the number keypad. Hit enter. While the program is running, you can use the option key to check how much longer you have to wait. What are the applications of the PCR? So, used in molecular biology and genetic disease research to identify new genes. For example, the sample containing pathogenic DNA can be PCR amplified using different known specific primers. The amplification indicates presence of pathogenic DNA. In fields such as anthropology and evolution, sequences of degraded ancient DNA can be tracked after PCR amplification. With its executive sensitivity and higher selectivity, PCR has been used for wartime human identification and validated in crime labs for mixed sample forensic case work. PCR permits early diagnosis of malignant disease such as leukemia and lymphomas, and PCR assay can be performed directly on the genomic samples to detect translocation, specific malignant cells, infectious agents, and like mycobacterium, anaerobic bacteria, or viruses. PCR, polymerase chain reaction for site-directed mutagenesis. So this technique is used for the introduction of the mutations at the desired place in the DNA sequences. And the recent use of the PCR and is now in the detection of the uh, corona negative and corona positive by using RT-PCR results. So that's how now this technique is so much in news, and that is the major use nowadays, like how to detect the virus sample is present in your blood sample in your body or not. So examiner can take your samples, swab samples, and then can analyze by the PCR machine by using the specific primers related to the virus DNA or RNA, and then they try to check that if there is any kind of a virus sample present in your body, so it will also present in your cell, and then that primer, if there is a virus, so it will bind to your swab sample DNA material or RNA material, it will bind and it will be amplified. And after the getting the PCR results, you will have to go for the agrogel electrophoresis, where it will show if there is a blank, means there is a no virus contamination in your body. If there is a band present in the agrogel, means you are having virus infection. So nowadays, this PCR machine is very much in demand and very much popular because it is very rapid reaction to get the results that person is infected or not. So now this is a sum up of this session, and this session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. If you have any query, then mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.